Yeah, good morning. Uh, I do represent the right ministry, and I've been associated with Digital India now for approximately 4 years. So let's speak a little bit about digital. But, and hopefully my presentation will work. And do I have a mic or that, the pointer to click it, or if somebody is going to take cues? So a couple of things, guys. First of all, a very good morning. Can we have a very good morning from the room? I'm having a lot of distraction from the end, so the stall owners need to keep their volume down. In the end, please, thank you. Two, the minister talked about something very interesting, and I don't know whether we all realize certain things. While there is all these platforms, the international companies, the big companies are building it, and we all know them by the name, we all use it. I'm sure if I ask you anybody in this room who does not use Facebook or WhatsApp, the answer should be zero. Anybody in this room who does not use Facebook or WhatsApp? The answer is zero. But what has happened over the last 4 years is, India has today built platforms under Digital India which are at the same scale. The minister talked about that 1.25 billion people in India have an identity. And I think that's a game-changing platform in the world. And I will talk about why this is relevant, not so much about Aadhaar in general, but about the platforms that Digital India have built. But two things let's realize. Today, where are we? Overall, I always get asked, what is the progress report of Digital India? In a nutshell, this is the progress report of Digital India. Today, 1.22 billion people have a mobile connection. 1.21 billion people have an identity. 500 unique people, households, have a bank account. Over 1 billion bank accounts in India. We have 1 billion identity, billion mobile phones, billion bank accounts. About, again, 500 million people on the internet, social media subset of that. Now, why this is important? Can anybody guess what this number was 4 years ago? It would be 20%, 30%, 40% of any of this number. I remember the internet number to be about 180 million in 2014. So from 2014 to 2018, the internet number from about 180 million has become 480 million in 4 years. What are we doing in Digital India? And this is something that cannot be talked less, it has to be talked more. There is a very clear approach by the government, the Modi-led government, to build things at scale. There's too much of disturbance. I think people are interested in doing their own individual talk rather than listening to us. So then organizers should actually not invite people if they're interested in doing their own round tables. The whole idea of having an approach to Digital India, which is so diverse, both in rural and urban, is something that has been exemplified in Digital India. While urban India was digitizing at a very fast pace, you've heard Digital India also had a very ambitious plan to build infrastructure for the rural part of India. Today, BharatNet connects almost 150 lakh panchayats. 1.5 lakh panchayats. This is taking internet to the last mile of India. That is really a key message that you're seeing. And today, if you just heard the latest announcement, we are doing what is the Sobhagya, what the minister was talking about, taking electricity to every home. We're ensuring internet to every rural village of India, rural household of India, to taking to the last mile really. Now that's a transformative event globally at scale with the terrains of India. It's very, very challenging. I mean, my friend from Cisco is talking about, the complexity of India. This is the real example of complexity of India. Technology has to be implemented, and by the time it reaches, the 18 to 24 months, technology gets outdated. We have to build technology at a speed, at a scale, and that is something that the Modi government, the Prime Minister-led government, has really defined in Digital India. This is exemplary. This is thinking out of the box to make sure, while market forces at work in the urban side, the rural side needs intervention for the government, And that is the job the government has done very, very well. And any of these digital infrastructures that I am showing on the slide over here, you talk about BharatNet, Aadhaar, the minister talked about, 1.25 billion people, the National Knowledge Network, and I can keep going and talking about this because this is, again, you talk about the Udacities, the Udemis, the Coursera's of the world. Today, National Knowledge Network delivers more online courses than any one platform in the world. Similarly to what IRCTC does. You know, we actually undermine sometimes the efforts that are being done. IRCTC in India does more travel booking per day than all travel sites of the world put together. That is the power of our platforms. We sometimes don't undermine them and value them because they're built here. The open data platform, the cloud platform, and of course the payments platform. Now payments I'll talk about because along with Aadhaar, that has been one of the groundbreaking changes that has actually shaken up all global giants. It is the only platform in the world that both Facebook, which is WhatsApp, and Google are front-ending. I mean, where have you heard that? Somebody from Google was here. Google has built Tej, which is actually built on top. It's just a front end to our UPI platform. So that's a classic case. What do we have? We have a scalable model today where infrastructure is of twofold. The network infrastructure, which is BharatNet and any connectivity, and two, the infrastructure of technology. The minister talked about 2% really products, 98% services. Well, we have changed that now, and we are changing it. Today, the platforms, the Aadhaar, the payment systems that India is building is delivering services to the common man of India at a scale that has never been done before. I mean, from agriculture to soil to UPI to common service centers, all of this are powered by our own homegrown platforms. I talked about payments. Now, why payments was necessary? We all send email to each other, right? Anybody over here does not send email? Email is a very simple thing, xyz@in.pwc.com. You have an identifier, you have an address name at the end of it, right? Today, that's what we have done for payments. Anybody over here uses Beam? How do you send payments? Does it get charged for it? Do you get charged for it? It's a bank account to a bank account transaction. It's not a wallet in between. Money goes from bank account X to bank account Y. If you send 100 rupees, does the other person receive 100 rupees or does it receive 98? It does not receive 98. It actually, in today's world, receives probably 102. There's a cashback also happening. If you receive 98, you would be in what I call a rent-seeking environment. That's what Visa and MasterCard do, right? If you use a credit card or a debit card, you pay what is called MDR, merchant discount rate, right? It's somewhere between 1 to 2%, 100 basis points to 250 basis points. India has freed that MDR regime. That's why sending money from P2P, person to person, is zero MDR. You can really transform payments. It's like what I call the Internet of payments. India is the only country which has built it. And we need to be massively proud of the same. So much of innovation happening, and that's what is enabling DBT that we always talk about. And look at the scale of this. November 2016, the time we had demonetization, this UPI platform was doing 1 lakh transactions a month. Guess what is the number of transactions we have done last month, in April? I had given you an idea. 180 million in March, 18 crore. So in April, it has touched 20 crores. From 1 lakh to 20 crore transactions in 18 months. A true startup. If you would value this would be worth billions and billions of dollars. If you put together all these innovations that we've done in India and put a startup value to this, you can guess what the valuation it will be. Because companies which do fraction of these transactions are valued at $10 billion, $15 billion. We are doing at least 10x more transactions on the UPI platform. And why this is important? From a data-poor society, we are becoming a very data-rich society. And I'll talk about that. The minister talked about this whole, now we have built platforms. And what are these platforms? I had explained. For those of you who don't know me, I've actually been a professor also in my past life. So I give a very professorial lecture also. What we have done is we have built a complete stack of technology in India. Open source, built in India. Identity layer, on top of it a paperless layer, DigiLocker. All students get their mark sheets verified at source into the DigiLocker today. You can tie your driver's license there. That is what enables eKYC, by the way. That whole famed eKYC, where you can open a bank account in India in less than a minute, is powered by this paperless layer, the eKYC, the DigiLocker that you know. The payments layer I just talked about, transactions is GST, and a consent layer. Now, when you make all of them interoperable and working together, you have a deadly combination which is found nowhere else in the world. And this is the combination that is enabling government to transfer money to its citizens, removing duplicates, fakes, and then once you know they identified the person, that this is Arvind Gupta, he's entitled to the scheme, and you verify your usage, which means I've availed of a service, what happens? Because the Aadhaar number, the identity number is directly linked to the bank account, money gets automatically transferred. And why? The payment system, native payment system was important because if I'm transferring 100 crore rupees, 2 crores erstwhile would go to a intermediary. Today, all the 100 crore rupees goes to the bank account. This is how you saved money over the course of time. What has happened? See the scale of it. Last 2 years, 63 crore beneficiaries have got more than 250 lakh crore rupees transferred into a bank account, 83 lakh crore rupees saved so far. That's been the savings to the government. What are the cost of building this platform? What are the cost of building this platform that I keep talking about, the stack? About 10 to 12,000 crores. 80,000 crores already saved. I think good maths, right? And this is only the government. This is the money saved by government. Talk about telcos. Talk about banks now using this. What did Reliance Jio do? Anybody remembers? 2 years ago, Reliance Jio launched. How did they launch? Yes, use a mobile phone, used to go use eKYC, bang, signed up. What technology was at place? This whole technology that I'm showing. This is the open innovation at scale. 110 million people, 11 करोड़ लोगों ने 170 दिन के अंदर Reliance Jio का फोन पे enroll किया था. For those who are from here, from Facebook and Google would know, that was not a rate of adoption even Facebook could match, or a Google could match. 11 करोड़ लोग 170 दिन. किस प्लेटफॉर्म ने सपोर्ट किया? इंडिया बिल्ड आधार एंड eKYC प्लेटफॉर्म. So this is the scale that we are operating at in India today. So benefits to government, benefits to business, and what it has done? It has brought down the cost of customer acquisition. एक फॉर्म बनाने में एक आदमी का टाइम लगता था, उसको डिजिटाइज करने में टाइम लगता था. That time has been brought down. That cost has been brought down from $25, 1500 रुपए, 1000 से 1500 रुपए से 50 रुपए. That is the cost of enrolling using digital technologies. And today we can do that. That's why you can offer low-cost services to any place in India. See this great example. This is one of my favorite examples. People over 75, 80 avail of something called the pension scheme. Now this is real India. This is real digital India also. These people had to walk into this office every year to prove they're alive. How many of you seen the movie Munna Bhai MBPS? Usme you remember there are old man who walks into an office, strips, says मेरे को certify कर दो, मुझे pension चाहिए. Today he doesn't need to do that. He can e-certify himself from the comfort of his house using his digital identity. That is real empowerment of India. And that's what platforms are in India are being built for. I always say today, when your mobile phone has been made, India has become a mobile first, digital first country. 83% of our traffic is on the mobile today. And Digital India is leveraging that like never before. 2 factories in 2014, 120 mobile production plants in India today. 22 crore mobile phones are being made in India today. Do you know this? Your Samsung, your Apple, they're all being made, assembled in India today. That's a game-changing thing. After the oil import bill, the biggest import bill India faces is the electronics import bill. We're changing that. 120 factories already operating. So the game of Digital India is about building platforms, scalable, speed, and at a cost that is affordable by India. Open innovation that both government can use, society can use, businesses can use. And of course, providing access to people who don't have access. That is the rural, the BharatNet. Last thing, talk about a lot about innovation. I represent a very innovative platform, a startup within the government of India called MyGov. The Prime Minister talks about we have 1 million problems in this country. Not all problems are solved, but we also have 1 billion people. This is really where it is exemplified. Today, this is the biggest participatory governance platform in the world. I get ideas from all over India, and those ideas are made into policies, are put to use. So no longer a few people sitting inside a room decide a policy. I can actually take comments. The National Digital Communication Policy, for example, is being debated and commented on MyGov right now. If you have not participated, you should. This is the collective strength of India, the collective innovation of India. You talk about agile policy framework, there cannot be a better agile policy framework than this. During demonetization, 58 changes were made in 50 days. Half of those ideas came from these platforms. They were experimented like any startup. Some succeeded, some did not. And that's the change of mindset we already have. I'll leave it with the last slide. While we are talking about identity, banking, payments, we are also looking towards the future. Mr. Malik talked about blockchain. Again, we are not using technology for the sake of using technology. We are using technology to save government the money and solve societal problems. Where are we using technology? Like blockchain. Land titles. One of the most disputed things in India, in civil courts, if you study, is land. We are blockchaining those. You hear about many other cases, and some I can openly talk, some I can't, but we are using technology which is the latest, the best, being homegrown. The Prime Minister has launched 3 initiatives, one with NASSCOM. It's called the Future Skills. This is future-proofing our software engineers with AI, making AI for India. The big movement is to make AI for India. Anybody who's an AI expert would know if you build wrong algorithms with all data sets, with biases, it's not going to come out correct for a country like India, which speaks 22 languages. People eat sitting on the floor. That need not be cleaned. An AI-driven robot may clean and eat up your food, thinking it's waste. So it has to be localized. And to localize that, you need to make in India. So a lot of work happening in health. You talk about Ayushman Bharat. Learning, Swayam I already talked about, land titles, and of course, e-courts and judicial processes. So our story of transformation at scale in digital India has started. Bharat ban raha hai digital, that is true. Bharat, I say it with a lot of importance because it's not only we and you in urban cities sitting and making digital India, it's digital Bharat also. We need every single person in India to be connected, to get empowered using digital technology, and that is the Mool Mantra of Digital India. We have the platforms, we have the people, we have the policies. We need to ensure this empowerment reaches every nook and corner of India, and that is the hope of New India that we are moving forward towards. Thank you very much.